Thanks to Jessica Paquette for stopping by on Rail Talk. Love talking to her. Would love to have her back on the show, and shout out to her for what she's doing, trailblazing in the industry. You know who else is trailblazing in the industry? A little show called Rail Talk. We must have an expanded budget by now because we have our first special correspondent who's going to introduce a new game to us. We're going to play pretty regularly. Skip Anderson, friend of the show, welcome as the first correspondent for Rail Talk.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, John. How are you guys today?
Doing great. Always good to see you. So this game is called Tackle or Trade. Explain to the audience how it's going to work, and then we'll play.
All right. Sounds good. Well, Tackle and Trade is going to be an opportunity for us to learn what's going on in Joe and John's heads. So I'm going to pose 2 questions to you guys. What I'll do is we'll flip a coin. The winner gets to go first. And that person, I will ask a question. They can either tackle that question or they can trade it to their partner, but their partner has to answer it. And then if they trade it, the first person has to tackle the second question.
Yeah. So we don't know what the questions are ahead of time. So when Skip asked me the first question, if it's too difficult, I'll pass it to John, but then that might be tricky because the second one might be even more revealing, and getting into our heads can be a little bit dangerous. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm going to call the coin. I'm going to call heads, and Skip, you can flip, Skip.
Winner is tails.
Okay. So John gets to go first.
All right,
John. Our first question on Tackle and Trade is, do your best impersonation of somebody famous.
Ooh. All right. I'll take.
You having go-to impressions, John? I've never heard you do an impression before.
No, never. I can do impressions. I think so. But I'm gonna do my impression of my famous co-host, Joe Bianca.
Someone actually famous, John. Actually famous.
I can do a good Joe Bianca. You ready?
Okay.
All right.
Let's hear it.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to our famous podcast. It's the inaugural show of Rail Talk 2024. I'm Joe Bianca, and I love to be in Brooklyn, talk about New York sports and NYRA racing. I am so stoked to introduce my co-host, Jonathan Green. John, take it away.
Wow.
It's like someone who just met me for last week or so. I New York sports, Brooklyn.
Come on, that was off the top of my head. Give me a break. Here, you want to do another one? I can do another one. I'll do Bill Finley impersonation.
Oh boy.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Joe, you're an idiot. That's my Bill Finley impersonation.
Oh man, that's an Eclipse Award winning impression right there, John. Very good.
Wow.
Very impressive.
All right. Good question.
I guess it's my turn.
All right, Joe. Question number 2: when flying commercially, are you a window seat or an aisle seat type of person, and why?
First of all, I try not to fly commercial anymore these days because I know a guy with a private jet. So anytime I'm not on the G5 these days, it's a little bit of a disappointment built in. But to me, it depends on how long the flight is. If it's a long flight and I know I'm going to have to get up and go to the bathroom multiple times because in general I have a small bladder, and as I get older, I have to pee a lot more. If it's a long flight, I like the aisle because I like that freedom to be able to walk back and forth. If it's a short flight, I might go for the window seat. But yeah, it's definitely not the window, and definitely not commercial if I have the choice.
Fair enough.
How about you, Skip?
I'm always an aisle seat guy. Always an aisle seat. And if we're going to talk impersonations, why don't I share one?
Oh, bring it.
Ooh, bonus.
This is Kermit T. Frog reporting live from Fargo, North Dakota as a correspondent with Rail Talk. And it's really a pleasure being in the presence of Joe and John. And if you really think this podcast is great, give us a like and a follow on all the social media platforms.
That's tremendous. Tremendous. Can we clip that and like just
awesome,
put that
Skip.
on as like a banner ad on our YouTube page or something? Like there's the intro ad. That's excellent impression. Beat John's impression by a mile. But let's keep going. Skip, what other questions you got for us?
All right. If you have to send one emoji to your significant other this very moment, what emoji are you sending and why?
Okay, first of all, we have to explain to John what an emoji is. It's a tiny little animated face thing that, you know, can express joy or laughter or sadness or something sexual. Or since we're talking significant others, John, what would be your emoji of choice to send to Michelle?
So you're trading, not tackling?
Yes.
Okay. I think it would have to be, you know, we've been doing this podcast now for going on 3 hours today. So it's going to be, that's the emoji. It's like, really?
No, we've had some technical difficulties along the way, but all right. Skip, what's the second question?
All right. The second question is, who is your celebrity lookalike?
Oh, damn, that's a tricky one. I mean, there's no celebrity that could measure up to this, but I don't know. Like, there was a guy. First of all, back in the day, I had one. He was in the NBA back because I had a zero haircut, or it was just all shaved down. People said I looked like Mike Bibby. So if you can like imagine me with like a slightly shorter beard and a bald head, I kind of looked a little bit like Mike Bibby. But there was like there was an actor of some sort. I'd have to look it up that people say I look like. John, anybody that comes to mind?
People say that I look like Jimmy Kimmel, although I don't necessarily see that. Maybe Patty can put a picture of Jimmy Kimmel up. I don't see it, but some people have said that I look like Jimmy Kimmel.
We've said this before, I think, like that John looks like the love child of Jimmy Kimmel and John Oliver. And if we can put both of those guys up.
Can we morph them together?
Yes. I don't know if we have that technology. We might have spent all the budget money on Skip.
What was the last movie you saw in the theater, and how would you review it?
I'll take this one. And so it was, and I don't watch movies all that often, in the theater at least, or in general. I saw the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie, and it was excellent. I highly recommend it to everybody. It should win all the Oscars for Best Picture, and it's not even nominated. But it was kind of like, Megan and I have been trying to get Taylor Swift tickets forever, and we keep getting shut out like most of the country. So it was great, but it was also like, oh, this would have been so cool to see in person. But still highly recommend. That's the one for me. So what you got for John?
What is your greatest attribute, and what is your biggest shortcoming?
Wow. I'm glad I tackled that one.
Wow. Well, shortcoming is definitely my height. No question about that. Yep. My greatest attribute has got to be my ability to roll with the punches and just be flexible and try to take a positive outlook on life. I think that's something I've developed over the years. I was definitely not like that earlier on, but I would like to think that that's my greatest attribute these days.
Johnny Blue Skies. I like that. You are a light of my life. As is Len. I don't know if that's Len in the background, but if it is,
well, that was we have another correspondent that keeps pacing back and forth because I'm in the kitchen and he's trying to get his morning coffee. So that's one of our sponsors, Len Green. Yes.
That's our cue to start wrapping things up. All right, Skip. Well, thanks for coming on. You look sharp as always. You're gonna make us step it up in the style department, I think. Tell the viewers and the listeners how they can get in on the fun and ask questions of me and John.
All right. If you want to get in on Tackle and Trade, we would love to hear from you. You can submit some questions to me, Skip Anderson, at Baba Acres on X. Send us those questions, whatever you want to ask John or Joe. We'll get them in the pipeline to play Tackle and Trade, and just listen in and we'll go from there.
Yeah, my man. That's like a special correspondent, Skip Anderson. Happy New Year, bud. Good to see you. See you soon.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, John. Thank you, Joe. This is Skip Anderson, Rail Talk Media. I need to go see a man about a horse.